This November, Ohioans will vote on a crucial ballot measure to end gerrymandering in the state by establishing a citizen led redistricting commission. The group behind the measure, Citizens Not Politicians, received over 730,000 signatures in support of the initiative. They only needed around 400,000 in order to qualify for the ballot. The measure would amend the Ohio Constitution to create a 15-member commission composed entirely of citizens and evenly split between Democrats, Republicans, and independents that would draw the state's congressional and legislative districts instead of politicians. Ohio has a long, notorious history of extreme gerrymandering. The state's current redistricting process allows the Republican-controlled legislature to take the first shot at congressional map drawing. If they fail, a 7-member commission made up of elected officials draws the maps. This current redistricting commission currently has a Republican majority, and members include the Republican governor, Mike DeWine, and Republican Secretary of State, Frank LaRose. Its current set of maps have been struck down 7 times by the Ohio Supreme Court for being gerrymandered to unfairly benefit Republicans. The fair maps that the court required were never enacted. Ohioans were forced to vote under these illegal maps during the 2022 midterms after lawmakers ran out the clock. The court's former Republican Chief Justice Maureen O'Connor, who voted 5 times with the Democratic justices to strike down the maps, retired in the beginning of 2023 and was replaced by a more conservative justice. The now more conservative majority on the Ohio Supreme Court has allowed the maps to be in place for the 2022 elections and beyond. Ohioans reformed the redistricting process in 2018 to institute anti-partisan gerrymandering requirements, but it still left map drawing power in the hands of state lawmakers. Because lawmakers and officials have a political interest in keeping districts advantageous to their party, the current commission has continually rammed through gerrymandered maps. The goal of this new ballot initiative is to remove politicians from the redistricting process to create fair, impartial districts that don't favor a certain party or candidate. If voters approve this redistricting reform amendment in November, the new commission would immediately redraw the maps. If you're skeptical or worried about how the new members of this commission would be selected, the amendment spells it out clearly. A panel of 4 retired Ohio judges, 2 affiliated with the Democratic Party and 2 affiliated with the Republican Party, would be in charge of the selection and vetting process. The amendment language emphasizes that the process will be open and transparent and ensure the members are geographically and demographically representative of the state. While the measure has finally made it to the stage of actually being on the November ballot, it had a long path to get there. Ohio's Republican Secretary of State David Yost rejected the submitted summary language 2 different times, claiming the submitted summary was not a fair and truthful representation of the proposed amendment. The group then had to submit the language a 3rd time after a small typo was found. After the amendment was approved to be on the ballot, Ohio's Republican Governor Mike DeWine publicly opposed the measure, saying it would only make gerrymandering worse.
If this ballot proposal were to be adopted, Ohio would actually end up with a system that mandates, that compels map drawers to produce gerrymandered districts. In fact, Ohio would have gerrymandering in the extreme.
Retired Ohio Supreme Court Justice Maureen O'Connor put out a strong statement in response to DeWine's comments. The disinformation from the governor today is insulting to everyone in Ohio, and especially insulting to the 500,000 Ohioans, Republicans, Democrats, and independents who put the Citizens Not Politicians amendment on the November ballot. She also noted that DeWine himself voted with his fellow politicians 7 times for unconstitutional maps that O'Connor struck down. The amendment needs over 50% of the vote in November to pass. Last year, Ohio Republicans rammed through this special August election to make it harder for voters to pass future ballot measures by requiring a 60% vote for them to pass. But voters rejected this blatantly anti-democratic scheme, so the 50% threshold still stands. This was an attempt to thwart an abortion rights amendment on the November 2023 ballot from passing, but voters ended up passing the amendment with 56.6% of voters approving the measure. Thanks for watching Democracy Docket. If you want to stay up to date on the latest voting and election news, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter. So you can click the link right here on the screen or in the description of this video. I'm Sophie, and I'll see you next time.